Hi, thanks for spending some time with me today. We're looking at a new etude, the Beast Etude number 1. These are from Matt Franke's books entitled The Beast. 4 books, a lot of extremely useful material in those books. And like a lot of methods that are out there, it's a good idea to practice through for an extended period of time the material and improve your skills before you try and play one of the etudes. As a matter of fact, one of the etudes even says, "I'm sorry," at the beginning of the etude. I'm going to see how this goes today, and hopefully we can find something in it that's going to be useful for you in your situation. Here it goes. Well, that has a lot of challenges in it. A lot of wide intervals, a lot of pretty extreme changes of range. But what's fun about it is you have these kind of soaring melodic lines. And many of us find those kinds of lines fun to play. So what we're trying to do is get to the point where it's fun to play physically as well. So let's talk about this a little bit. I didn't like what happened when I went up for the last D, and the reason is I was anticipating the difficulty of the D. So I'm going to play that again. I'm going to play from the A tempo at the end. This is the last 2 lines, and see if I can do a little bit better job. Okay, that was interesting. I wish I could actually share my personal experience with you. I think you would be surprised. There's a lot going on there. So what's going to help you to play something like this? Well, the problem that most trumpet players have is they get to the top of the staff, and then they encounter resistance, and they start fighting against the resistance. So the key here is to learn how to balance the resistance without struggling against it. So it's like the load is coming on, you can feel a little bit more resistance, and there's basically 2 ways of dealing with that. One is reduce what's causing the resistance. So the first step I take is like, is my embouchure pinching? Is it tight? Is it vibrating freely? Is it supple? So the more supple the embouchure can be, the more freely it can vibrate, the better off you are. And there are a lot of things that contribute to that. The equipment you're playing on has something to do with it. Of course, we all have habits from our misspent youth as trumpet players where we were trying to force ourselves into the upper register. And many of us are still doing that. So the basic rule that I have is I should try and play it as if I were singing. Now, you may have noticed that today I'm playing on a C trumpet, and the C trumpet is, one step higher than the standard B flat trumpet. So when I play that D at the end, it's a D concert. And that really shouldn't make much difference. There is I don't care who you are, you could be Wayne Bergeron or Arturo Sandoval or Maynard Ferguson, or there is a limit to how high you can play on the trumpet. And some of us are better equipped, some of us are more experienced, some of us have greater strength and other abilities, skills that allow us to play in that register. And those are all things that can be developed to some degree by all players. So don't be discouraged by this. For me, the governing factor is not can I play the note, but what kind of influence do I have over the quality of the sound. So I'm going to work on this again and just take a spot. And this is something that I might practice. Just playing the last line. I'm going to play, and what we do is we're going down to the low C and then back up very, very quickly. So there's a shape to the line here. And then we're coming back down and with a very delicate attack, at least that's the way I'm hearing it, a gentle ending, right? So I have musical things that I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm always keeping in the forefront. If I just think I got to get the note, then my body will do whatever it can to force that note out. But if I think I need to keep a singing quality of sound, and the great players that some of whom I just mentioned, you'll hear that the sound doesn't sound raw. It doesn't sound forced. It sounds free and it sounds singing. So that's the main thing you're trying to do. I'm not saying it's easy to do. I'm saying that's the goal. So use your ears and listen to see what's happening. Now, if you want to know how, one way to check what you're doing in terms of finding that balance, a good thing to try and do is articulate. Now, for most people, articulating once you get to the top of the staff becomes more difficult. For example, those of you who are experienced players, you know that multiple tonguing, double or triple tonguing in the upper register is more challenging than it is in the middle or the lower register. And the reason is there's generally less airflow in that register. So we have to allow for the body to be open and the airflow to be free in order to produce enough flow. So we get to a certain point where things are getting a little too stiff, and then we simply don't have enough flow to support the sound. So I'm going to suggest something to you. I'm going to go back to the beginning, and I'm just going to linger a little bit on the upper notes. And when I'm doing that, what I'm trying to do is find the place where it feels like the support that's, and this will sound strange, but the support that's coming back from the instrument, in other words, the sound wave that's in the instrument is actually coming back and hitting my chops. So the vibrating area is being supported from this direction. And it's also being supported by the air behind the embouchure. Now, if you're out of position, you're going to feel weak or you're going to feel uncontrolled. And then you're going to start to force and tense. If you're in the right position, then the air behind your embouchure, the air that you're actually flowing past your lips, is supporting the vibration of your lips. Now, if you force the air through, then it kind of shreds the vibration of the lips. If you want to demonstrate this to yourself, just go to a very exciting sports event and do a lot of screaming, and you'll notice what happens to your voice when you get home. You may have some problems with vocal production because you just kind of overblown your vocal cords. And we do the same thing, but it's way easier to abuse your lips than it is the vocal cords because they don't vibrate as well as the vocal cords. And sometimes we force them. So I'm going to play the beginning again and see if I can find the right spot. So when I go up, I already feel that I'm da-dee, so I'm starting to tense and kind of choke and squeeze. So I know that that's wrong. So I'm going to practice some exercises. I might do some expanding interval exercises. I might do like Clark, So now I have a fluid motion that is chromatic. It's smooth, no big intervals. And now I can feel the balance as I'm going through. So instead of just hacking away at these larger intervals, gradually work your way toward the larger intervals. There's some great exercises in Matt's books that are expanding interval exercises. And so if you have a chance to check them out, please do. You have to govern your own level of difficulty. And don't be like me. Don't ruin your body by overdoing it, trying too hard. Build things gradually and just make sure that you're putting in regular time to do it. Let me try that again, and this time I'm going to tongue it. So to play this particular etude, you have to be able to move very freely from the top to the bottom and back again without getting out of position. As soon as you feel like you're out of position and you're starting to force, just stop. And then you have to figure out how to build that up. So I give you one suggestion. Do the Clark. This was part of his basic routine, his setting up drills that he would play every day. So you get the idea. You can, as long as you're not forcing and squeezing, just get in the zone where things are flowing. Slow it way down. Play it. I started on the middle C, went to the high C, but you can also play at the octave lower. Obviously, that would be a good starting point. So know what your goal is, but don't, and be regular with challenging yourself, but don't push yourself past what you can do. And I will say, with these books, it's a tendency. There'll be a tendency to do that. Because obviously Matt likes to challenge himself, so do I, and you can grow a lot from that, but not if you keep pushing past what you're capable of. I spent a lot of time in the gym lifting weights for many, many years, and the tissue damage that took place because I was straining is not all that great in my old age, but it's just my personality. I have to keep doing that. So I hope you're more sensible than I am. Okay, I hope this has given you a few ideas, and certainly it's a challenge to play. So go and do what you can with it. If you're not ready to play this etude, then there's a lot of other material that you can try. But first, see what you can do with the first book in order to build your body to the point where this is feasible for you to do, and maybe even enjoyable. So I hope some of this has been helpful. And now spend your time wisely and go practice a little bit. I'll see you later on. Bye-bye.